Okay, good afternoon. So I'm going to talk about Coro, the company, and our flagship project, which is called Marimaca. So we are Coro. We are focused on doing exploration in Chile. We are focused in copper. And as I said, we are in the stage of exploration. And this is Marimaca. Marimaca, as you see, is this hill. The deposit is outcropping. I'm going to talk about its location, the geology, and the resource base that we are developing. For those that are not very familiar with Chile, Marimaca is located in the second region in the north of Chile, right in the Atacama Desert, but very close to the coast. So we are only 14 kilometers in straight line to the Mejillones port, and we are about 40 minutes drive from Antofagasta. So that's how easy it is to get to Santiago. You catch a flight in Santiago early in the morning, you land in Antofagasta, and 40 minutes later you are in the project with an altitude maximum of 1,000 meters. So we are not close to in the Andes. As a result, this is a location with superb infrastructure. So we have roads, we have access to power. The power line close to the property is like 2 kilometers away. We are close to the Mejillones port, so that means that all the consumables that we'll need are easily accessible, especially sulfuric acid. We are close to Antofagasta. That means that getting people to work on the project is not going to be a problem. You won't need a camp. And ultimately, we are close to water, as I mentioned. And water can be a big problem for mining projects in Chile, especially if you are high in the Andes. But that's not going to be clearly the case for Marimaca, because, as I said, we are just 14 kilometers to the coast. So it's a superb location for a mining project, which begs the question, why hasn't anybody seen that if the deposit is going to be as the magnitude that we think, and it's outcropping? We answer that question with a little bit of geology. So nearby, you can see some of the other projects. We have Mantos Blancos, we have Michilla, we have Manto de la Luna, and Marimaca. The difference between those projects and Marimaca is that those are hosted by a type of rock, which is a volcanic rock, while Marimaca is actually hosted by intrusive rocks. So if you ask a Chilean geologist to go look for a decent-sized project in the coastal belt where we are located, they're all going to go and look for volcanic rocks, not intrusive rocks. And as I said, Marimaca is hosted by intrusive rock. And the reason for that is that intrusive rocks, typically, they are very competent rock. They are not so permeable. Therefore, all the deposits that occur in that kind of rock in the coastal belt are related to vein-type deposits, and they are small. But that clearly is not the case of Marimaca. And why? You can see here in this slide, it's just a geological map, the surface map. And all these risks or traces that you can see in this figure are the mapping of a fracturing structure that we have on the rock. On top of that, we have also a swarm of dikes, geological structures, and geological faults. So all this structural system, what that created was the condition, the geological conditions, for the mineralized solutions to come in and impregnate the rock in Marimaca, creating this kind of boat-type deposit. In fact, we believe that this is a new kind of geological setup that can be used elsewhere in the coastal belt to find other Marimaca type of deposits. It's very unique, and that explains why it's been overlooked over the years by other companies, the other geologists that went through this area. Okay, so what we did, we started our exploration program back in 2016, and we finished phase 1 early last year. That's what we call Marimaca phase 1 exploration program. and where we identify the current 4301 resources, that is about 76 million tons at 0.5% total copper. And then, based on a strategy of acquiring, consolidating land in and around this area, the Marimaca 1 to 23 claim, we went consolidating, acquiring option agreements, and paying cash for some of the other areas that you can see in the picture. And we come up what we call stage 2 or phase 2 of the exploration program, and of phase 3, which is what you are currently running. So the main focus for this year is to do all this drilling in and around the Marimaca claim, and then doing some scout drilling in the northern part and the southern part of the central area, which is what we call phase 3. So just for having a sense of scale of this district, we are talking about an area that is 4.5 by 5 kilometers in dimension. In total, for all these programs that are going to be finishing this year, we're going to have something like 60,000 meters of drill worth of work done over these 3 phases of the program. Some pictures, that's exactly what it is, the Marimaca ground. And you can see that it's brownish color. That's because of the dust in Atacama. But I'll show you another photo after a rainstorm event in the area, which is very rare because we are in the desert, where exposed the mineralization on the walls of the hill. And that's what I'm talking about. So here in this photo, you can also see the geological features like this bending or the parallel fracture on the rock, with also the dikes and the feeders that brought the mineralization. The mineral that you can see there in the bluish is chrysocolla. It's a copper oxide. That's another photo showing some RC drilling going on in one of the areas, which is La Atomica, which was done this year. And again, you can see now one of the areas that we identified, which is high grade, that's probably over 1% copper, outcropping, showing also the parallel fracture control chrysocolla dominated mineralization. And that's another photo showing another important mineral of the deposit, which is brochantite. Brochantite tend to be better grade and also has a better response in metallurgy. In terms of recoveries, some metallurgical test work that was conducted on the ore shows recoveries between 70 to 75% total copper, which is very good. So by end of last year, having acquired all the land, we did a raising. We raised something like $36 million US. By September, October, and then we put together this table to the market that shows clearly what are our objectives of this program. So in the table, you can see in the columns each one of those areas that I showed you before, and on the lines or in the rows, you can see the tasks that are being performed and when the market could expect the drilling results to come up. We've been meeting well all these milestones. And the main objective of this program is on Q3 to come up with an updated resource basis for the whole project, which will comprise the original 76 plus whatever we can find of resource in the other areas. And finally, towards the end of the year, using this updated resource model to develop and come up with a PEA study, which will put a value to the project. How big is going to be Marimaca? This picture shows very well. Inside this red circle is where we had the 76 million of the original resource. Right now, we identify a mineralized area that goes like 1,400 meters of strike length by 700 meters wide, and the depth of mineralization, only oxide I'm talking about here, is around 160 meters. If you do the calculations, the potential of resource for this area is going to be at least 200 million tons, more or less at the same grade, which is 0.5%, which again puts that as a very decent size deposit and will generate a very decent size project as well. Some cross-section just showing the drilling that went on. And that's it for my presentation. So we believe we have a jewel in our hands that we are lapidating. Thank you.